All right, shalom, shalom. I want to give all praises to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim Rakah Kadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well, and salutations to the Akim out there. This here, spreading this truth like wildfire with all sincerity. Shalom to the Israelite, to the elect among Israelite foreigners who look like the other nations, but the Spirit bears witness with our spirit that they're the children of Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai. And shalom to the real sisters out there. All right, oh shit. Hold on. Somebody I gotta like edit out. Hold on. Yeah, I had to change the channel and I had to change my name on here, take the Men of Valor out because I found out that it's not that I actually wasn't basically I didn't actually officially become a Man of Valor whenever Chief said what he said. It wasn't I guess there was more that needed to be done. There was and plus leadership is kind of different now. It's kind of a different setup. But, for those brothers, yeah, I thought the whole time that I actually belonged to Men of Valor, which is why I had that in my name. But, I found out, so I had to change it. And so yeah, it's just gonna be a Havamoth. It's not gonna have Men of Valor, you know, until Yahweh Desire, Yahweh Desire gets to become a member, but I get to become a member, but it doesn't matter like if you're a member of a camp or not, as long as you're pushing the sound doctrine, the doctrine that the apostles push out on apostles of GMS, push down, push out, you know, going down, push out. You push that pure GMS doctrine, you know, you're basically a de facto member, but of GMS or MOV, but you're not an actual member. There is a difference. So, so let me get into this. Let me get into the. So, just want to let y'all know, and want to bring out. Got to do all things in decency and order. All like shit need to move smoothly. Because the Most High Yahweh, He's not the author of confusion. All things in decency and order. Gotta run like a well-oiled machine. 1 Corinthians 14 and 40. And I did get on. I whenever the GMS elders was getting on that certain individual for having GMS when he didn't have GMS, I did get on him for that. So I've got to hold myself to that same standard. But anyways, let me bring out 1 Corinthians 14 and 40. So we'll touch on this real quick. Let all things be done in decency and in order. Like it's a certain way of doing things. And let me get The Most High, because the Most High Yahweh is not the author of confusion. One Corinthians 14:33, same chapter. For power Yahweh is not the author of confusion, but of peace, as in all churches of the saints. So yeah, you gotta move in a certain way, But yeah, I proved the point. But all right, so let's get into this. Let's get into basically this topic of basically, a Sleazy E, Sleazy E, not to be confused with Easy E, or I've heard brothers call him Easy E, but not to be confused with the, Easy E, the rapper. Sleazy E, his deception, runs pretty deep. Okay, I'm thinking I have to get this one first. Prove that point. Verse 20. No, I think hold on, I can actually hold on. Verse 26. How is it then, brethren, when you come together? That's something else. Every one of you have a song, have a doctrine, have a tongue, have a revelation, had an interpretation. Let all things be done unto edifying. Yeah. Basically, there's a point. Yeah, let all things be done unto edifying. But yeah, let me continue on with the topic of this live. I'm gonna try to stick to it the best way, like the best I can. All right, so yeah, I was basically meditating on basically, how this devil hid from us that we were slaves still, even after Juneteenth, our people was still slaves, and not only our people, but the other heathen nations and his own people are slaves under him. And that he hid that from us, And I was thinking of several ways, he actually several documents he makes. His documents that he forces us to have that are actually like certificates of slavery. Let me get the word emancipation. It's kind of, let me get emancipation since Juneteenth. Wasn't that long ago, and you Jakes were thinking that you actually was let free. Nah, you was emancipated. You was not liberated. Emancipate, the Latin word, transferred as property, Ex, Lorigin, ex, emancipium, slave, out, slave, Latin emancipare, pare, and then From emancipare, you get Latin emancipat, meaning transferred as property. So emancipate means the real meaning of it, of emancipate means that to transfer as property, because y'all were transferred as property to the U.S. corporation. You know, the U.S. is actually United States of America is run by U.S. The U.S. corporation based off of D.C. You know, Act of 1871. Act of 1871. A corporation, man. DC, DC, the commissioners, yep, corporation of the city of Washington, DC. That's the corporation that actually runs this bitch, you know, manages the US, which is actually just a huge plantation. A corporation of the city of Washington, D.C., 1802, 6/1, 18. Okay, that's the name of the document, but it's dated from 6/1, 1871. This is archives, government archives, man, which established it. And then they're showing you that that was a corporation. However, in 1871, World Congress, there's more to it. Acted to abolish corporations of Washington, Georgetown, Levi Code, Washington County in favor of more territorial form of government. Let me get more info on this. Washington, D.C. was basically a whole corporation. Fuck them fact checking sites because they're actually false, yo. They actually they try to debunk the truth, man. But it's actually true. Yeah, DC is a corporation, and DC runs this bitch, through the franchises, these different states. Yeah, let me get this real quick. Government Act of 1871. DC is a corporation. The result. Okay. It's like a whole video. So, there's like a like a summary. It says the Act of 1871, which established the District of Columbia. We have been living under the United States Corporation, which is owned by certain international bankers and they say aristocracy, but they're not the best people to rule, man. Aristocracy means the rule of the best. They're actually the opposite. Or they're the worst people to rule of Europe and Britain. In 1871, in 1871, the Congress changed the name of the original Constitution by changing one word, and that is, you had to use legalese, and that was very significant. As you'll read, some people do not understand that one word or two words difference in any legal argument do make the critical difference. But Congress knows and does know this. You know, 1871, February 21st, Congress passes an act to provide a government for the District of Columbia, also known as Act of 1871. With no constitutional authority to do so, Congress creates a separate form of government for the District of Columbia, a 10-mile square parcel of land. She acts of the 41st Congress, Section 34, Session 3, Chapters 61 and 62. The act passed when the country was weak and financially depleted in the aftermath of the Civil War. Was a strategic move by foreign interest international bankers who were intent on getting a stranglehold on the coffers and neck of America. Congress cut a deal with the international bankers, specifically Rothschilds of London, to incur debt to said bankers, because the bankers were not about to lend money to a floundering nation without serious stipulations. They devised a way to get their foot in the door of the United States, which they at least was behind it. So right away, they fought on both sides of these wars, man. Since French, well, since the Napoleonic Wars, you look into that. But yeah, the Act of 1871 formed a corporation called the United States. The corporation, owned by foreign interests, moved in and shoved the original Constitution into a dustbin. With the Act of 1871, the organic Constitution was defaced, in effect vandalized and sabotaged. When the title was capitalized and the word "for" was changed to "of," of, instead of Constitution of the United States for America's Constitution of the United States of America. Constitution of the United States of America is the Constitution of the Incorporated, in those words, United States of America. It operates in the economic capacity, Salakio, and it has been used to fool the people into thinking it governs the republic. It does not. Esau's deception, man. Esau's crafty counsel. Capitalization is not significant when one is referring to a legal document. The seemingly minor alteration has, be not ignorant of Satan's devices as well. You won't know. Well, first off, that you're a slave. Gonna get into that. You won't know that. Second off, like, this country is really owned by the bankers and shit, like, for real. Owned by the elites of Esau, calling themselves the Illuminati. Operates in economic capacity. Let me get this. Let me get this scripture real quick. 2 Corinthians 2:11. Lest Satan should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices. This is a device of Satan, which simply means adversary. In Esau, Edom, Esau, Edom, the nation of people that run this country, or the so-called country, in this world, the self-proclaimed so-called white man or Caucasian, he's our top adversary. So know it. So be not aware, be not. So there's places. So he can be referred to as Satan as well. It doesn't just mean, well, when you think of Satan, you think of some horn, some red dude with huge horns and shit, carrying a pitchfork and living in the bottom of the earth and place they teach you is called hell and all that. But not so, not so. Even though there is a spiritual demon, Satan, all that rest of that is just nonsense. But let me get you but let me get be not ignorant, be not ignorant. Be not ignorant of any matter. Be not ignorant of anything or in a great matter or a small, because hey, them small little details, it's where the devil is at for real. The fine print is where the devil is at, where you don't expect him to be. And let me, that's why you gotta look into shit like this. Hold on. Yeah, capitalization is not insignificant when one is referring to a legal document. This seemingly quote unquote minor, remember the scripture I just brought out, it links right up. Alteration that has had a major impact on every on every subsequent generation of Americans. What Congress did by passing the Act of 1871 was creating an entirely new document, a constitution for the government of the District of Columbia, an incorporated government, incorporated, Inc., incorporated. This newly altered constitution was not intended to benefit the Republic. It benefits only the corporation of the United States of America and operates entirely outside the original organic constitution. Instead of having absolute and unalienable rights guaranteed under the organic constitution, even there, slaves are considered 3/5 of a man. The deception runs deep. Esau, because Esau's mind is lab, which is the word there for heart, and that their heart is deep, Psalm 64. So that is what they do. They search out iniquities, man. We the people now have relative rights or privileges, One example is the sovereign's right to travel, which has now been transformed under corporate government policy into a privilege that requires citizens to be licensed. Yup. Also makes you a slave too, because you have to ask these devils permission, man, to fucking travel, to drive a car. You need a license, permission from the government, and it costs money to operate a boat. Need permission from the government. You're might as well not have a boat. You don't have one. You wanna so two ways you could possibly leave this country. You need a passport, get on the airplane, leave. Across the border, you need a passport. Think about it. You still have to ask Massa for permission to move around. You to sell your own shit. You need permission from Massa. You we're, we're not free. We're not truly free in the so-called land of the free. That's a lie. Psalm 64. Psalm 64. Ah, shit. You get Psalm 64. About these fucking devils. Psalm 64 and 1. Hear my voice, O power, Yahweh, in my prayer. Preserve my life from fear of the enemy. Verse 2. Hide me from the secret counsel of the wicked, from the insurrection of the workers of iniquity. Verse 3. Who whet their tongue like a sword, and bend their arrows to shoot their bows to shoot their arrows, even bitter words. Verse 4. That they may shoot in secret at the perfect. Suddenly do they shoot at him and fear not. They shoot. Oh, those are bitter words as well. Those are bitter words. Unrighteous decrees. You know, and you didn't even know it. Didn't even know it. They shot in secret at the perfect. Suddenly shot do they shoot at him and fear not. Verse 5, they encourage himself in an evil manner. They commune of laying snares. Privily is a snare. They say, who shall see them? Verse 6, they search out iniquities. They accomplish a diligent search, both the inward thought of every one of them, and the heart is deep. Very like this is well thought out, yo. This is well thought out. But let me get he refused to let them go because we are in our captivity, yo. He refused to let them go, KJV. Jeremiah 50 and 33. Thus saith Yahweh of hosts, the children of Judah and the children of Israel and the children of Judah were oppressed together, and all that took them captives held them fast. They refused to let them go. These devils didn't liberate us. They didn't liberate us. They continued to hold us captive while deceiving us, telling us that they liberated us. Basically saying that emancipation meant that he was freed, but that's a lie. And let me get something else. Let me get we are yet to stay in our captivity. Let's get that one. Probe 3 and 8. Behold, we are yet this day in our captivity, where thou hast scattered us for reproach and for a curse, and to be subject to payments. Be subject to payments. Driver's license, gotta pay. Business license, gotta pay. You gotta pay for your water. Water is fucking natural. You gotta pay for your water. You know, there was a way that people could have free electricity. Nikola Tesla fucking came up with it, but they snatched it. But hey, these devils snatched it because hey, you know that devil, hey, that devil J.P. Morgan, or maybe I'm referring no Rockefeller, J.P. Morgan, a different devil. Rockefeller, he said, J.D. Rockefeller said, my peasants will have nothing free, be subject to payments, according to all the iniquities of our fathers, which departed from Yahweh our power. Yup. And let me continue on with the article. Let me get scoffers, man. Got scoffers on. You got scoffers on here, of course. Basically saying that he's tripping. Mythology. Yeah, you have those types. Yeah, yeah. So-called fact checkers. Anyways, get back into this. We people now have quote unquote relative rights or privileges. Oh yeah, I got into that. By passing the Act of 1871, Congress committed treason against people, basically stabbed people in the back, made everybody slaves. Who were sovereign under the grants. So everybody's now a three-fifths of a man, especially Jake. You know, Jake is looked down on. Congress committed treason against, because our people is like prisoners of war as well, against the people who are sovereign under the grants and decrees of Declaration of Independence and the Organic Constitution. The Act of 1871 became the foundation of all the treason since committed by government officials. Yup. And also you get into a birth certificate right there, man. The birth certificate, you know, I believe one of the apostles got into this. Birth certificate. Um, Also goes into numbering Israel too. That's what they was really trying to do. Hold on. Let me get to the point. Yeah. Why was the birth certificate invented? It was what they say. It's what they're letting you know. The primary purposes were for taxation and determination of available military manpower. Data related to births were recorded in elementary form in church registers in England as early as the 1500s. Now, this article from American Bar Association, birth certificates. Hold on. Maybe yours is tucked in a box filled with safekeeping. Odds are that you have one birth certificate on any given day, According to the U.S. Census Bureau, estimated 10,800 babies are born in the United States, and one birth every 8 seconds. Most of all, if not all of them, will be issued birth certificates. Birth certificate is a document issued by government and records the birth of a child for vital statistics, tax, military, and census purposes. The birth certificate is among the first legal documents an individual might require. They are so common that we might overlook their significance. In the United States, birth certificates serve as proof of an individual's age, citizenship status, and identity. They are necessary to obtain a social security number, apply for a passport. You remember went into that. Enroll in school, so schooling, training to be a good slave. Get a driver's license, permission to use your car to move around, and employment. From being a slave of the U.S. corporation to, you're slave of these smaller corporations too. Wage slave. You don't get paid shit. Or apply for other benefits. Humanitarian Desmond to describe the birth certificate as okay, whatever. Small paper, but establishes who you are. Identification, right? Or emphasis on that, right? It gives access to the rights and privileges and obligations of citizenship. So like, I'm gonna get that word citizenship real quick. A citizenship is the status of a person recognized in the law of a country belonging to their of recognition by state. As a citizen generally carries with their recognition of civil, political, and social rights which are not afforded to non-citizens. Okay, basically, you become a slave of the U.S. corporation. You become a citizen. You officially become a slave. Citizenship etymology. Let me get that. A citizen originally meant go back to inhabitant of a city or town. Basically, your permission to inhabit that city or town. And if you look at it, their permission from Anglo-French citizen, city dweller, town dweller, citizen, city, right? See, Old French, citoyen, modern French, Taiwan, I think is pronounced, but it's spelled like Sitoyan from city of Ain, spelled like that. Sichuan or whatever. But, spelled like that. According to Middle English Compendium, the SIZ in Anglo-French probably replaced an earlier. Okay, what the fuck? All English words were. Fuck. Person and still okay. Citizens and so. Huh. What do they say about citizen? He's not a citizen who's not disposed to respect the laws and obey the civil magistrate, and he is certainly not a good citizen who does not wish to promote by every means in his power the welfare of the whole society of his fellow citizens. Adam Smith, theory of moral sentiments, quote unquote. You know, hold on. No, it's like, yeah, a native or naturalized member of a state or other political community. Like, you had Roman citizens back in the day, man. Like, some of the shit. Well, basically, it's you pay for them to give you permission, basically, to be in that, live in that domain, really live on the grounds of this corporation. You need permission to be there. You need permission to leave as well from these same devils. So it goes into that as well. But let me go back to where I was, and birth certificates being required and shit. In the United States, there's no national federal birth registries you might see in other nations such as the UK. Instead, birth certificates are issued by the states, yeah, because they're franchise, which are obligated under law to report annual vital stats under the federal government. Yep, but they're required by law to report it. Right, well, so it's like, yeah, there is, because they're obligated under law to report annual vital statistics data to the federal government. There's more deception, man. Note that if a baby is born to American parents overseas, the U.S. Department of State collects that data. Within each state, the management of birth certificates might be further decentralized, with data collected and certificates issued at the county or municipal level. Birth data is submitted to the state, county, or municipality by parents, doctors, midwives, and hospitals, typically via paper or electronic forms. The state and federal governments use this data to understand population changes, childhood trends, maternal and fetal health and mortality, new parent demographics, and other trends that inform policymakers like this head count. And really, what they're trying to do is this, it's all do this as well. Esau wants to keep track of how many Jakes are in the world, man. This is why they try to force you to do a census. Numbers 1 and 49. Only thou shalt not number the tribe of Levi, neither take the sum of them among the children of Israel. You're not supposed to number all the children of Israel. That's what Esau is doing. Don't even, David, he got chastised for numbering Israel. Let me continue on. There's just many ways, and basically Esau deceived you into thinking you was actually free. You was a slave. Like you gotta, yeah, you gotta have a birth certificate. Hold on, I can try to wrap it up as soon as possible. Yeah, the document will be necessary to, get a social security number, which is require register for school, and even to get married. Require you even got any permission from Esau to marry. Let me get. Hold on. Yep, jobs require birth certificates. Auto or social security. All right, but hold on. Yeah, also the police. They're the cops, the centurions. Those are the overseers. So why they get away with murder majority of the time. The overseer could do that. I was gonna say you also need a hunting license. You need a fishing license as well. You wanna fish. You know, there's all types of ways. This devil got you enslaved and shit. It's all being exposed, like this other deception. All right, we're gonna wrap it up. Hope this live was edifying. I want to give all praise to Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai, Ba'Shem Rakah Kadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well. Citations to Akim out there, spreading this truth like wildfire. Shalom to the Israelite foreigners who look like to the elect among the Israelite foreigners who look like the other nations, but the Spirit bears witness that they're the children of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, and shalom to the real sisters out there. All right, shalom. Stay strong. Yashrala forever. We almost out of here.